Okay, 6 o'clock, call the meeting to order. Anita, would you lead this in the pledge of allegiance?
Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please, Rob.
Councilmember Squires,
Here.
Councilmember Wilkes,
Here.
Vice Mayor Arnold,
Here.
Mayor Shepherd,
Here.
all are present.
Thank you. Public comment. Members of the public may address the city council on matters which are not listed on the agenda. The city council may not discuss nor take action on any item not listed on the agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, hearing none. Item 5, consent calendar. Does anybody want to remove an item from the consent calendar? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I would like to remove item B, and we can go ahead and approve A and C.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'm not sure what those are,
Yeah, basically, we're pulling the warrants.
Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and second that.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item B, what were your questions?
The only question I have is, if we could put on the agenda for our quarterly reports for, April, July, October, and April for quarterly reports. That's all I want to comment. We've already voted on the financial planning, but what we just need to do is to expense track, identify where the money is going, and finding areas to potentially cut back or make adjustments. Thank you.
All right. Well, we're not ready to, need to address that with the whole council as an agenda item, correct?
Yes.
So all I'm asking is that we have a quarterly report and that it's put on the agenda.
Okay.
Thank you.
Easy enough. You can do that.
Thank you. Okay, so, I need a motion for item B, please.
I will go ahead and motion for item B to approve warrants 39369, 39407, 9303451, 9303476 for the month of June 2025 in the amount of $108,623.71.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Item 6, discussion action item, 3rd phase agreement for the purchase of PCC1 renewable energy credits. Mr. Administrator?
Well, as all of you are aware that the portfolios for the city of Biggs have to meet certain requirements in order, and under the RECs and under the 3rd phase agreements that allows us to do that. Since our large hydro and natural gas are not considered eligible renewables or not renewables, then we have to go into the portfolio content category PCC1 to meet our RPS obligations. And unfortunately, the RECs are the highest value credits under the renewable energy delivered directly to California's production grid. And to that end, NCPA has negotiated a 10-year purchase agreement with the city of Santa Clara and the Silicon Valley Power, which has excess PCC1 RECs available. And NCPA will execute the purchase on behalf of Biggs and Gridley pursuant to the joint 3rd phase agreement, allowing both cities to benefit from favorable long-term pricing. And with those particular things, the price per REC is going to be $35 at a fixed term of 10 years, with the total available RECs over 10 years at the 8,764.8 RECs per year, effective through 2034. That would be delivered through the CAISO Balancing Authority, And they do count as a long-term credits under the California RPS rules. And Dave's allocated share is shown in Exhibit A, which is 33%. And the recs per month at 241.2, monthly cost 84.37. The annual cost 101,233, and the source of that funding will be the enterprise fund paid through the city utility payments. In accordance with this agreement, there have been considerations for the regulatory compliance and cost stability and efficiency for us to execute this agreement to meet the RPS, our long-term goals, and the CTC enforcement guidelines. And we also, under this, we have the third phase agreement and a resolution for that third phase agreement. It's been, both of those have been reviewed by the city attorney and approved as to its form. It also has been reviewed by NCPA as well, because they're the ones who basically put this together for us in order for us to become compliant. Do you have any questions? Because it's a lot of, legal jargon in use.
Any questions for Rodney?
I got one, maybe you might answer. Did NCPA do this on their own, or did we request them to negotiate that, you know?
Well, so basically, we didn't have these recs.
Right.
And Santa Clara did, so they negotiated the purchase for both bids and Ridley, so it went through the commission already. At the same time, bids and Ridley, basically the same deal. I think they did 10-year.
So they just, NCPA knew we were struggling and they found that and negotiated or whatever.
NCPA, reviews what will be our, reportings to for the recs and for the PCC. They'll review our portfolio, and if our portfolio is in compliance, then we can move forward with those reportings to the state for the power usage. That's my understanding, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And Cliff has basically got all of our reporting, caught up. There was some stuff that, to do with the recs that hadn't been retired.
Yeah.
And so,
So the old recs have a shelf life. And that shelf life is the last 4 years worth of those RECs. So those 4 years worth have been retired at this point. We do have, because of the purchases we did previously and what we're going to do, we're going to have some excess credits we can roll over, which will help the portfolio out for the next reporting cycle, which will lower our costs in having to catch that up down the road, having to purchase that. But with this potential 10-year agreement, we will be sustainable to make that happen year after year after year and meet our obligations.
So even with Ridley having solar panels, they were still struggling like we were.
Unfortunately, not all of the different percentages each participant has in the different portfolios, you still may or may not meet the requirements for the portfolio. You can be as diversified as you want to be and still have one particular area that's not going to meet it, because like the hydro doesn't meet it, and neither does natural gas. So, and I believe, I'm correct, Biggs has a substantial portion in both of those areas. That's why we highlighted them. But it's important long term to have what we have in order for our sustainability moving forward, in addition to have the ability to purchase those RECs or Cs to meet the compliance requirement. And I think with the contract of the 10 years at $35, to me, that's a good deal with what we got moving forward. We can freeze that price, especially when even what we're seeing in the last couple of weeks, that those prices are potentially getting low. With regulatory actions that are already in works.
Yeah.
So we can get in on the ground floor.
I think Santa Clara, I mean, obviously they didn't, give us a great deal, but they didn't give us a bad deal either.
No, I think we got a fair deal.
I agree. Okay, any other questions, comments? Any public comment? Hearing none, then I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve.
I will motion to approve resolution number 2025-25, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Biggs approving the third phase agreement for the purchase of PCC 1 renewable energy credits, REC, through the Northern California Power Agency.
And could I get the item B two below it, authorize the interim administrator?
I think they're supposed to be two
They're
separate.
supposed,
Okay, two separate, all right, thank you. So we have a motion, do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and second that.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item B, Mr. Administrator.
authorize the interim administrator to make non-substantial changes for the implementation and to submit the required documentation to NCPA and the California Energy Commission. In review of that, in coordination with the previous administrator and in conversation with, NCPA and Stockton, I can't pronounce it.
Tom Chesky.
Tom Chesky. They have already reviewed the portfolio that's been put together, and it appears that the thumbs up is there for those reportings to move forward after tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll go ahead and make that motion to authorize the interim city administrator to make any non-substantive changes necessary for the implementation and submit required documents to NCPA and the California Energy Commission.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 7, department reports. Who wants to go first? Bob?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very little to report. There were no development applications submitted for review. And the building permit activity is very status quo. For this time of year, it's very slow, very routine type items, low value on the permit value wise. That's all I have to report.
Any questions for Bob? Hearing none, thank you, Bob.
So I'll primarily report on Second Street. They started construction this week, yesterday, started doing dewatering of that canal. And wait for some parts to come in to be able to do that. So, Paul was out there giving him a hand a little bit, showing him where to put the water. And, yeah, things are moving. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. And, I'll be back in August, here for the next meeting in July.
Any chance you guys could send us some pictures here and there?
I will. I'll be out there taking pictures.
Yeah, we have a CM firm hired as well, so they'll be doing daily logs and that kind of thing, so, I'll try to put a activities report with the photos in it for the next meeting that I can attend. Like I said, I can't be here at the next July meeting, but in August, I can get you guys an actual report that you can look at on your devices.
Sounds good, thank you.
How's the pedestrian traffic through there? Everything okay?
It's been good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Have
so,
no complaints or no problems.
well, and it just started yesterday, so give it a little time. But you know, the goal was to miss the school season. I don't know if because of the delayed start, they're gonna get pushed into when school starts, and then we'll really, you know, see some, not conflicts, but a little bit more congestion. You will see signs though, they are detouring, we're gonna have them close the road, just for safety, and then, yeah, so, both pedestrians and automobiles will be detoured. Pedestrians will just be put to the other side of the street, but, we're gonna close it, that whole section for automobiles, except for the residents that live right there.
Yeah, and so if it goes into the school year, we can probably let, the superintendent know from the school.
They already made
If-
contact
if-
with
yeah,
them.
oh,
Yeah,
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 if
we're-
that happens.
Yeah,
you
we're,
guys
yeah,
let me know.
yeah, we're already in contact with them, and, I mean, there's a good chance they'll get it done. I'm working with them on another project, they're pretty fast, and it's not a, you know, a very long project,
Yeah,
so.
it's pretty straightforward.
As soon as they get the underground done, the paving, the concrete, that'll go pretty fast, so.
Thank you.
So Mayor, Council, last council meeting, I went over, the fire hydrant repair, actually replacement. And I needed one more quote, I got all 3 quotes, and, I'm looking for, approval. And the winning quote was $15,895, which $8,000 of that is about almost 9,000 is parts alone. So, and I guess I can go back over what I was talking about. So, over on 7th and Bannock, there's a dry barrel, fire hydrant, which is inoperable. And, I mean, you can repair them, but they don't, it seems like every time you turn around, if you repair the plunger, then you're repairing something else. That's why most places go with the wet barrels. They're a lot better, they're more efficient. However, it has a control valve that is actually, it works, but it doesn't work enough to shut it completely down. So that's why I was wanting to replace all the way back to the main. And so we would replace that push-in type of line with C900 with restraints and mega lugs, which is today's standards, instead of a push-on type where if something was to move, it could make the line come right off. They don't even have restraints on it. It's just a old C900, not C900, but an old PVC pipe. And so for the safety and for the upgrade, I think it would be prudent to put up this money and take care of this problem.
So correct me if I'm wrong, we're gonna have to put that as an action
Yes,
item
I
on 2
will
weeks.
have, give Paul and have him give me all the quotes so we can get it agendized and present it before council. Preliminarily, I wanted to make sure that you were kept up, aware that the other quotes did come in, and give you a chance to kind of, let the amount simmer a little bit, because it's not cheap. But we'll get there, I'll give you a percentage of your options, and the next meeting, we should be able to come to resolution.
Well, the labor's 6,000 something. I mean, so whether we did it or they do it, I mean, because you gotta pay for those parts regardless. And, I mean, I could do it, it's just, we just don't have the time to commit to that solely, you know?
No, and I think it makes sense to hire them.
Yeah. And I mean, I got, like I said, the other 2 quotes aren't even close. It's like, I'm talking almost 10 grand difference. It's crazy.
For the, go ahead.
I have a question. I didn't see it on public purchase. Was an RFP sent out? Or did you just?
No, I just did quotes because it was under the threshold, right? Correct?
You get a pre-bid quote.
Yeah.
So do you just choose your own contractors, or do you?
I choose the person that came out and exposed it first, was one of the ones that did the quote, and then I got 2 more.
So it wasn't put on public purchase center or anything for an RFP for just prevailing wage contractor to bid on?
They are prevailing wages.
It's all prevailing wage.
Yes.
Has to be.
That's why I said
Right.
expensive.
Yeah, that's why I asked if it was put out for bid on public purchase.
Not through, to my knowledge, not through an RFP process, but through more of a bid process. It's 2 different.
So calls to.
You put it out to contractors who you think might be, willing to give you a bid, and you move forward with it. It's a little bit more streamlined in our RFP process as far as time-wise to get done, because this is a high priority, this is a public safety issue. With the fire department, I'll have access to a fire hydrant in an area of the city that has, lots of houses around it, especially next to the railroad tracks, across from the mill. High priority public safety item, in my opinion, therefore, this process will be much quicker to resolve it than our style process.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Mayor, council, thank you. I don't have particularly an update after the first 8 days, but wanted to get out and introduce myself to everybody that does not know me. I'm Chief of Police Todd Farr, and also who will be attending these meetings will be Lieutenant Jason Geringer. Things are going good so far, and we look forward to serving the citizens of Biggs. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yeah.
Thank you.
How was July 4th? Is it okay? Everything was pretty good?
Nothing major.
Nothing major? I didn't see it, I thought it was I loved your presence, during the parade. And I've been seeing you guys around town, and I just really appreciate you, and I think everybody else, in town does as well.
Appreciate that, thank you. Glad to hear it.
Thank you.
You didn't forget me.
No, I actually wrote it down. That's-
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. So monthly update for June of the activity that took place in June. Incident wise, we did have 15 incidents within the city, 23 in the county, for a total of 38. We did have, one residential structure fire off of 7th Street. The engine did respond quickly, they were able to contain it to the room of origin. However, there was lots of smoke damage and such, and so we reached out to Red Cross to help the family out while they're figuring out living conditions moving forward. Some of the non-fire activity things that the fire department took care of this month, or the month of June. They posted flags on Beach Street in recognition of Flag Day on June 14th. For those of you that have been by the station and seen all of the personal protective equipment that we have there, we're transitioning into this new tracking program. It's pretty much required to keep track of how often it gets the advanced cleanings after we go into a structure fire because of the cancer situation with firefighters, right? So NFPA requires us to get cleaned so often and after every fire, so this new tracking system is helping with that, and it's just taking, it's hours of work on a fire station over there. They're about 30% complete on all of the pre-plans being transitioned into a new digital system that's going to be accessible by all resources in the county. It's a really good program. I'm already seeing them popping up on my screen that I have in my truck. So if I'm responding to one of our commercial buildings, like the high school, for example, I can just hit that screen. I get this nice overview of the entire school, see where all the gas and electrical shutoffs are, things of that nature, or any other special hazards that help us. So that is being taken care of and coming along nicely. And then, as you guys probably noticed, it's been the fire season is starting to pick up. We've had a couple of fairly significant fires in the east of the county, southeast portion of the county over the weekend. We've got at least one strike team of engines over in Humboldt right now, helping those guys out with the fires, but all of our stations are still staffed, and we still have a strong firefighting force here, even though we got some guys out of the county. And that's it, unless you guys have questions.
I got a question. Who cleans the equipment? You guys, or you send it out?
Cleaning the equipment?
Yeah, you say it's required to.
Yeah, so we can clean it here. There's almost all of our stations have, it's a special washing machine. Basically, it's called an extractor. There's one, Biggs was one of the first places to have it because they have all the PPE there at the station. But there's also inspections that come along with it that we do have to send it out to what's called an ISP. And they have to do this advanced inspection of it and test it to make sure that it's still meeting the minimum requirements.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
They all have expiration dates.
Yeah, 10-year lifespan on all of our safety equipment. Yeah. What's that?
For thinking about this, that's all reflects in the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, for safety.
Yeah, I don't think that, we come to the city for being.
No, but it's part of your guys' package.
Oh, right, yeah, we take care of that.
Any other questions for Chip? Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Okay, item 8, city council committee reports. Does anybody have any reports?
I do from last month. I attend the Small City Organized Risk Effort group, and the acronym is SCORE. And there's about, let's see, we have about 19 cities that we work together with, such as Mount Shasta, Colfax, Portola, Dunsmuir, Rio Dell, Shasta Lake, Isleton, Susanville, on and on and on. We have Live Oak as part of that group. Anyway, there's a total of 19. And I wanted to report that there's about $2,500 available annually to our staff for City of Big, so I'll get you that information. It's, starts July 1, so we already missed last year. But they provide, personal protection equipment, PPEs, not only for maintenance, but also for in the office. So that money is available. There was no new claims submitted for the City of Big, so for instance, if there is a law enforcement risk and there's an injury of some sort, or an employee or something like that, the whole group, we meet together and the claims are run through SCORE. So anyway, so I just wanted to report that. None so far for 2025. Let's see. Lots of budget stuff everybody's going through. There's, obviously everybody knows the property values have gone up, but the underwriting for SCORE has gone down. We actually saved a little money, not a whole lot, but you know, it's better than paying more. So that's all I have to report. That's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for attending that. That's really huge. Any other reports? And I was out of town, at a conference, so I didn't attend any of my meetings. LAFCO was canceled, flood control, was canceled, for lack of an agenda, so not much on my end.
Anything for the conference? Anything good?
So much, it's AMI, talks, met Jerry Rice. That's probably the highlight of it. But, so any other reports?
I got a question, Councilwoman, Nia. Is that $2,000, is that the grant that we get every year from Michelle Minnick?
Yes.
Because I've done that a few
Yeah.
times already.
Okay,
Okay, cool.
so then all of the receipts should have been submitted on, June 30th.
Yeah, but they'll add it to the next time, we won't lose it, we shouldn't lose it. I don't think we're gonna.
I don't know,
I think we have to request
Okay.
to keep it for the next year.
Oh, yeah.
and
Okay.
June 30th was the
Okay.
date. Yeah, it's a good thing, to have that money. The only thing is for Board of Supervisors, Doug, did you talk to Todd Kimmelshoe?
Yeah,
Introduce yourself.
I didn't go to the meeting, and they canceled the, meet day meeting
Oh.
this month and last month and this month were canceled. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
haven't seen him yet.
I met him for the first time.
He was in the parade.
Yeah, I met him for the
Yeah.
first time there, so. That's great, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Administrator, anything?
I attended the, online for the LEC update for the Blood Energy Center when they did some repairs to some of the large boilers. And they went over the items budget-wise as to the upcoming projects they're trying to bring forth. Nothing really of substance to report insofar as the discussion of those items.
You'd have to attend the LEC meeting to understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's gonna be another one that they're gonna want people to do some in-person meeting too, so we're gonna see how that's gonna go. I'm pretty sure that's probably gonna be a much more in-depth discussion on items in front of the board there, but it's a higher level, meeting with information that, even seasoned people have difficulty digesting, so we'll get into those meetings.
Yeah, thank you for attending. So if there's no other reports,
I have a question. I just thought about it right now. National Night Out, we talked about that. In the past, I understood that City of Biggs, put it on, but in the last few years, Butte County Sheriff's Department coordinated something like that, is that who did it? And without their contract, I don't know if they're gonna continue something like that.
I doubt it.
Before them, we had really PD moved out with that.
So,
And previously, correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, please, there's always been a citizen committee, not necessarily appointed through the city, but something that the local organizations have brought forward. And each person, a member of that little group, has brought things to the table insofar as putting on an event like that.
I believe it was Beacon.
The cities have always participated in the planning and stuff of it, but I don't think they were directly the planner of the events, were they, to my knowledge?
I don't remember, who did it last year?
The church
Did you
did.
guys serve ice cream and
The church
root
did.
beer floats or something? Last year at National Night
I
Out?
think they've done ice cream, but honestly, I don't remember who did it.
The church did.
Yeah.
Well, it was the sheriff's department.
Well,
there
the
was-
sheriff's department did the bicycle giveaway and
But
they
like
had
we
the-
said, it was the church, because Jeremiah was out there with.
Yeah, were they with the backpack giveaway? Did the church do the backpacks
Yeah.
for the students?
I just know it's usually for lack of a term, a citizen group that gets together to, for the betterment of the community, and then they act as the liaison between the city and the police departments, and they bring everybody together for that particular night. Go out and meet everybody and put together some activities to introduce them to the community members to each other and to all. That's the specific what National Night is for. I'm sure that
I don't believe we have citizen group.
this year.
would we be able to maybe ask the church and see if they would head it? And I don't know if it's appropriate to be a liaison, I can do that. And maybe if really PD could be there and help hire and, you know, help us out.
Really,
Someone-
PD will definitely
Oh,
participate.
that's great. What do you, is this appropriate?
Maybe put it on the agenda to cover next month or next week, 2 weeks.
It's the first Tuesday in August.
Yeah, it's always a pretty nice, but, I don't know exactly. Should we try to appoint a committee member, because there is no committee for it at this point,
Yeah.
so are we wanting to put a committee together for it?
Wow.
Or we wanted just to reach out to the organizations and see if that's something that they're doing?
I think that,
I
reach
think-
out
yeah.
is what it is.
I feel like, yeah, because I feel like they were so involved in the past years and they already have it laid out. So I haven't talked to anybody, but I could just be a liaison, you know.
Yeah, I don't see where there's any issue with something like that. I don't necessarily know if it has to be agenda or not. I'm not aware of it ever having been in the past.
No, well, I think at some point when more of us were involved, I don't know, in the beginning,
Yeah,
it
it
seems
was-
like it did. But, yeah, so you wanna reach out to the church?
I'll reach out to some people and see what.
Any of us
I
can
can
help,
hook
let
them
us
up with
know.
public safety portions thereof, the fire department, everybody, and see if they can, come together and put something together.
That sounds good. If we can help, let us know.
Yeah.
Project Biggs has done it in the past.
I'm sorry?
Project Biggs has done it in the past. Speaking with Marcy, she was under the impression that the city did it last year. And it was Methodist Church and the Biggs Assembly of God that actually put it together, but
Yeah.
1 month is a little short notice with nobody stepping up to the plate. It should have been done 5 months ago.
Anyway, so if there's nothing else, we will adjourn to closed session at 6:35.
6:34.
6:34. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.